Now, one thing I gotta say about the Gina Carano fired situation is that I think that everybody should really go ahead and check out that Daily Wire interview. It's up now on YouTube and other aspects of social media out there. If anybody wants to get Gina Carano's side of the story, I do suggest that you guys go ahead and check that out. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about what's been going on behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm, in case you guys have been out of the loop, there have been a lot of setbacks because of what happened with the Gina Carano firing by Lucasfilm. You know, there are some setbacks, some minor delays for shows such as The Mandalorian, such as the Ahsoka Tano show, as well as the Andor series. You know, there's a lot that has been going on. We also know that Ewan McGregor is training very hard as we speak for the Kenobi series. He's doing very good on that so far. In fact, I don't know if you guys saw his picture the other day where, you know, he's kind of going like this, showing us his progress throughout his training. Now, when we look at everything related to what's been going on also by Jon Favreau, Jon Favreau has been a very hard-working man from day one when he stepped on board of Star Wars because of his problems with The Last Jedi, because of his problems with Rian Johnson, really mistreating the character of Luke Skywalker to its core. And that's exactly why he came on board as Star Wars, is because he had a lot of problems with the way things that were going with the character of Luke. Now, when we go ahead and take a look at what's been going on by Kathleen Kennedy, of all people, you know, she is the very person that has been this force of destruction, as I like to say, from day one. She turned her back, you know, she really backstabbed George Lucas. She did not live up to the promises that she made to George by respecting the characters and so on and so forth. So, what's really surprising is that now that The Mandalorian Season 3 is in development and it's moving along, it's going through some minor rewrites, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are hard at work on developing a brand new universe that is set to borrow aspects from Star Wars Legends. Now, further is described, however, that behind the scenes, since the Gina Carano fired situation took place, Jon Favreau has been hard at work with some of the setbacks being put into place here because of the situation at hand. However, it's noted that Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy wants to cancel and fire creator Jon Favreau, since she is actually not impressed with the way things are going with the Book of Boba Fett and how it is not falling in line with her overall agenda, that she wants to continue with other Star Wars TV shows. Now, additionally, it's noted that Kathleen Kennedy is not impressed with Jon Favreau's plans to further use Luke Skywalker in Mandalorian Season 3, and how Favreau is planning to do something historic for Season 3. Kennedy went as far to take things up with Bob Chapek to convince him to let go of Jon Favreau and fire him / cancel him, since Favreau also does not agree with keeping Cara Dune as a character for Mandalorian Season 3. So let's stop right here for a second. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Favreau is 100% not on board with recasting the character of Cara Dune. He's against that. He does not want this to happen. However, Kathleen Kennedy wants that to happen, and that's her main problem right now. Kathleen Kennedy, alright, is not happy with Favreau wanting to get rid of Cara Dune, and how he refuses to recast her. Bob Chapek, however, thankfully shot down Kennedy's request to fire and cancel Jon Favreau. Let's pause here for a moment, because this just goes to show us that Kathleen Kennedy is very two-faced when it comes to everything related to Star Wars. At one moment, she's praising Jon Favreau in interviews, and at another point behind the scenes, she's 100% against Favreau because of what he's doing with Luke, because of what he plans to do with Luke, and how that's going to really create this contrast of what Luke should have been and, of course, what Luke is going to become. And that's going to be a prime example in 2022 when The Mandalorian Season 3 drops, is that Luke is going to be a big part of the show, not just for that season, but also for Season 4 in 2023. It's going to be a very big moment in Star Wars history that Jon Favreau is trying to make happen. The other thing is this, alright, the fact that Kennedy goes as far to take things up with Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO, to try and get Favreau canceled or fired, if you will, to get him off board of Star Wars, that just goes to show you that she is very intimidated by Favreau's line of work, his momentum, if you will, of bringing Star Wars back into the hands of the fans. Even Gina Carano said this a couple of days ago, that Favreau is a genuine Star Wars fan. He cares about the people, he cares about the entire fandom, and she even just said this yesterday on the Daily Wire interview of how he is just a genuine creator. Him and Dave Filoni, they have nothing but love for the fans. And we could see that. We could absolutely see that through The Mandalorian and what they have done, you know, the past couple of months. So moving further throughout all of this, you know, when we look at Kathleen Kennedy, yes, she has no more creative power for the most part. She's only working on the Acolyte, creatively speaking. Of course, she can still call the shots on some business-related decisions. However, a lot of that does have to go with the higher-ups over at Disney, and especially Bob Chapek, the Disney CEO. The fact that Kennedy gets so desperate to the point where she has to bring it up to Bob Chapek to try and get Favreau fired / canceled out of the blue, I think it just goes to show us that Kathleen Kennedy is really afraid of the fans seeing this contrast. And what I mean by this contrast, I mean by this comparison, I guess that's the word I'm looking for, of what Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars was and what Jon Favreau's Star Wars is going to be. And she is intimidated by that. She is afraid of that. And she does not want to see that, you know, pretty much see the light of day. That's a fact. Now, obviously a lot of Lucasfilm employees are celebrating Gina Carano's firing. Even Kathleen Kennedy had hired a lot of people to erase the character of Cara Dune from merchandise like posters and t-shirts, and having Amazon, you know, pull all the figures off of, you know, the website, and stores all around the entire world, you know, pulling the character's figure off of the shelves. It just goes to show us that they do have this agenda, and they do have this narrative that they want to push, and that's exactly what they've been trying to do. Now, there's a divide over at Lucasfilm. You got some employees that are very much hush-hush, you know, not really speaking their opinion because they're afraid to lose their jobs, according to Gina Carano. And then you got this other side, you know, that's more sided with Kathleen Kennedy. So you got employees that are more sided with Favreau, and you've got employees that are more sided with Kennedy. So the divide over at Lucasfilm as a company is indeed true. It is indeed a real thing. Not only do we have a divide ourselves as a fandom, but there is a divide over at Lucasfilm as a company, surprisingly. So the thing about Jon Favreau, I have nothing but the best to say about him so far. I think that he did an excellent job with Season 2. Obviously, a lot of fans have been canceling their Disney Plus, and Disney is very much on edge about that. You know, a lot of people are very much skeptical about whether or not Jon and Dave can pull things off, and whether or not, you know, Star Wars fans are really going to stick around after the Gina Carano situation. So, like I said before in the past, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.